Hello, it is still morning, isn't it? Yes, good morning. My name's Dave Guest. My pleasure to welcome you to the Masterclass Theatre for the stage of Eurobus that I always enjoy the most and find most fascinating. It's the finals of our Innovation Challenge. Eurobus Expo is, of course, about showcasing all the latest developments and innovations in the bus and coach industry. And this competition aims to highlight the innovators whose innovations have caught the public's imagination and, of course, the attention of our expert judging panel, who I'll introduce in a moment. Now, over the past couple of days, visitors have been visiting stands of 11 organisations hoping to be crowned champion innovators, voting for the innovations that have impressed them most. And now we have the final 6. 11 have become 6 who will be pitching their ideas to our panel here, who make the BBC Dragons look like a bunch of pussycats. Each finalist will have 90 seconds, or 1.5 minutes if you prefer, to pitch their product. If they're going over that time, I will be very rude and say stop, okay, so that we can kind of make sure it's a level playing field for everybody. The introduction to each company will be minimal. I'll just say the name of the company, so it's up to you guys to sell your product, your company, your innovation, whatever it is, in the best way that you can. And then later on today at 3 o'clock, we will be announcing who has won what. But first of all, let me introduce you to our judges. Phil Hitchin is the MD of Bellevue Coaches. Chloe Leach O'Connell is the MD of Leach O'Connell Consultancy, and Keith McNally is Operations Director of the CPT, and Tom Morgan is Group Commercial Director at Trent Barton. So I'm going to go and take a seat with them over there now, and then we'll be calling people up in order. Oh, hello. Are we glad to be here? Yeah, you could be more convincing than that. Of course you're glad to be here. Anyway, thanks very much for giving up your time to get involved in this. It is really important that we have these judged fairly. So, our first finalist is Shuttle ID, Brickets by Shuttle ID. Would you like to take the stage now, please?
Parents and schools are rethinking smartphone use for young people due to growing concerns about the impact social media has on students' well-being. One Parent Pact, which aims to delay smartphone adoption until the age of 14, has now been signed by parents at 10,000 schools in the UK. As a parent myself, I understand that parents still need to be able to contact their children, so it's great to see that old-style brick phones with no apps and limited internet are now being touted as a suitable alternative. For the first time this year, we've seen schools advocate them and in some cases even supply them directly to students. So what impact does that have for school bus operators? Well, the operators that we've spoken to that use mobile ticketing already don't want to have to take a step backwards. The simplicity, speed, accuracy and convenience of mobile ticketing is just too useful. So the next logical step is to ensure that our tickets can work on these brick phones. As our ticket technology is powered by QR codes validated using our driver app, figuring out a way to get the QR code onto this basic device is key. We've found and developed up to 6 different ways that this can be achieved, and in a way that's simple for parents to understand. Without any change to the driver or operator experience, this innovation helps normalise brick phones and makes operators part of the solution. Thank you.
Well done. 1 minute, 25 seconds. Excellent.
Yeah.
Any of our judges want to ask anything there?
Hi, great pitch.
It's on, yeah, don't worry.
Great pitch. When I went to school, I didn't have a mobile phone, so my parents never contacted me. In terms of the systems you have you already penetrated the market, and what feedback have you had?
So far it's very new, very fresh. I do a lot of the sales for our business, and what I've been finding is, especially when speaking to local authorities and schools directly, they do seem to have a bit of an objection to our having them on smartphone. We've always had an option to have them printed, and we think that that's always been a great solution, but an objection we get to that is, oh, well, they're going to lose that printed pass, they're not going to lose their phone. So the next logical step for us was to try get them on these things, which is basically the phone I had when I was growing up. That was my first phone, this one. It's a slightly newer model now, but yeah, basically look like this, with Snake and everything.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck. Thank you. That's our first finalist. Thank you very much
Thank you
indeed.
very much. Thank you.
Next up, it's the turn of Bus ESS resale service by Ultratech Limited, the ESS repair specialists. And your 90 seconds starts now.
Morning, everyone. I'm Rob Hart. I work for a company called Ultratech, and we specialise in designing niche lithium-ion batteries for submarines, planes, trains, and it now appears buses. And about 2 years ago, I was approached by a major operator in London that were suffering ESS failures. So when I say ESS, I mean large hybrid batteries that a lot of the sort of fleets are now running. And they were suffering a lot of failures, and the OEMs were offering nothing but you need a new one rather than any degree of second option that would be useful to them. So we successfully took an ESS that had reached a so-called end of life, and we took out all the end of life lithium cells, and we replaced them with brand new ones. And we were able to take an ESS that was really destined for the scrapyard, which is environmentally completely unsustainable, and we were able to return it to a complete service life. And the operator saved a significant amount of money, which was fantastic to their bottom line. But sort of more importantly, we completely stopped unnecessary waste just going straight into landfill, and we were able to send the lithium for ethical recovery as well as giving them a great second option, which is a good challenge to the OEMs. So and that's now running around on a bus out of Norwood quite happily doing its job, and we're getting great telemetry feedback, and all's working well. But it was quite a challenging thing to do. Oh, I'll stop it there.
That's great, yeah, 1:26, very good.
I was
Excellent. You were on time, you were very good there.
I could have carried on for another minute if you wanted to.
Oh, no, it's okay. Let's see if one of our judges would like to ask you something about would it be you? Yeah, Chloe.
Great pitch. What type of savings can operators expect to achieve?
Am I allowed to say? I don't, because I know they all have, their own pricing strategy. As a percentage, it's about 2/3 of buying a new one. But there's other kind of non-indirect savings. So, for example, the example I'm going to give that we've done, if you buy the new ESS from the OEM, you have to upgrade the bus. You have to upgrade other parts of it as well. And you can't use your current stock of batteries you might have in the warehouse. You can only use the new one. Also, the new one you can buy only just makes its warranty and this is just from feedback I've had, so not my own personal opinion. Whereas the ones we have, they've done 10 years already. So by putting brand new cells in them, they'll do another 10 years. Whereas the new ones, they're only just getting past their warranty. So there's a lot of other kind of indirects that go with it as well. But yeah, so the operators, even though it's only 2/3, and they may go, well, a third more and I get OEM warranty, actually it's not that great a sort of value buying a new one, which again is a sort of great reason to do it.
And it's all about sustainability, of course. Thanks very much indeed, Ultratech.
No worries at all. Anytime. Thank you.
Next up, it's Intangle's Predictive AI for Vehicles by Intangle's UK Private Lab Limited. Hello.
Hello.
Your 90 seconds begins now.
Good morning. Thank you all so much for having us here today. At Intangles, innovation is at the heart of everything that we build. This has driven us to work tirelessly to build the world's most sophisticated artificial intelligence in predictive maintenance. This patented technology uses a digital twin approach to build a highly accurate physics-based model of a vehicle's engine components. Then, with the help of and moderation of our advanced AI, Intangles will accurately predict when these vehicle systems are at risk of failure hours or even days before they actually fail. This innovative approach fundamentally changes the way fleets are able to operate, in that they are able to make informed decisions long before fault codes arise and are no longer reactionary when responding to drivers' reported vehicle concerns. Vehicles can now be serviced on an ideal schedule, which not only reduces the cost of repairs by 10 to 15%, but it also improves the overall service uptime. Our customers see greatly decreased emissions and a typical reduction of annual fuel cost and consumption by at least 2 to 3% annually. Last month at Intangles, we were able to help nearly 20,000 more vehicles achieve a new perspective on maintenance, and this brings our total vehicle count to over 300,000 vehicles worldwide. And we couldn't be happier to be introducing this product to the UK here at the Eurobus Expo. Thank you all so much for this opportunity and for allowing us to be here and compete in this innovation challenge.
Well done, exactly 1.5 minutes. Thank you very much, very comprehensive there. Would you like to ask something?
Sure, great pitch. Thank you. In terms of your sectors that you cover with your hundreds of thousands of vehicles, what proportion of those would be bus and coach?
So we actually have our origins are in buses. So the very first buses that the very first vehicles that we did that used this technology on were actually coaches. Today, as we've expanded globally, buses make up maybe 30 to 40% of the total overall. We're in 18 countries around the world. So originating out of India, there's a large bus population and people moving industry there. And we're in North America on everything from buses, small minivans, tractor trailers, even into construction, mining, marine, genset application. Because the model is based in physics, we're able to, any kind of engine that's operating, we can apply that physical model, and the AI can actually learn a new powertrain in only about 2 weeks of operating on an engine that it's never seen before.
Thank you.
Very impressive. Well done. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
You guys aren't making it easy for our judges. There's some very, very impressive finalists here. The next of which is Altro Transfloor, who are going to talk about the next generation floors for the next generation of vehicles.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome. Hello, hello. And your 1.5 minutes starts now.
Hi there. So the unprecedented change that we're seeing in the bus industry with the adoption of zero-emission vehicles is not without its challenges. So more than ever, operators need to maximize return on investment by increasing ridership levels given the significant investment they're making in much more expensive vehicles. At the same time, battery electric vehicles and zero-emission vehicles have well-documented issues with thermal and acoustic insulation. So at Altro, a world-leading manufacturer of flooring, we've developed what we believe is the next generation of floors for this next generation of vehicles. We've created a wide collection of natural colors and soothing colors to enable operators to create a premium looking interior that is both inviting but also inclusive to all. But at the same time, this wide collection of 24 colors now features 3 different levels of acoustic insulation and 3 different levels of thermal insulation. All of this achieved with minimum weight increase for the vehicle. So ultimately, we believe we've created the optimal tool for operators to create an inviting interior, maximize ridership, but also achieve operational efficiencies that were never expected before with your typical floor covering. Thank you.
Wow, short but sweet. 1 minute, 10 seconds. Well done. You got a lot in there. Tom, do you want to ask something about this flooring system?
Yeah, great pitch. I guess I'm wondering, in terms of the real people benefiting from such a system, have you had any feedback from customers, I guess potentially, specifically disability groups, about the benefits they've seen of the flooring?
No, absolutely. So Altro has a long heritage of designing products that go in the built environment, in the care environment. So we have a long history of creating products that are catered for a wide spectrum of invisible disabilities in particular. So we've worked very closely with academic bodies that research this topic very deeply. And so we've put together a collection of products that, and so far the feedback, particularly from the operators that we've worked with, has been a resounding success in the sense that we've been able to give them tools that enable them to create an environment that is home from home, that is recognizable, that is comfortable, moving away from the well-known sterile environment that often permeates buses up and down the country. And we're quite proud of this achievement.
Right, Altro Transfloor, thank you very much indeed for that presentation. Good luck. And to our penultimate finalist now, it's Sharebus crowdfunding of coach trips by Ferdia. Hello, and your 90 seconds goes now.
Hello. I represent a Norwegian tech company trying to renew the traditional coach industry. And for over 100 years, the coach industry has been offering essentially the same product, transporting a group from point A to point B, with one person or one organization paying for the entire trip. It's time for renewal. Sharebus flipped this booking process upside down and introduced the concept of crowd-funded coach trips. So a typical use case might be an event organizer who wants pop-up shuttle buses for their event. Today, they need to book and pay for the buses up front, and that often stops them. With Sharebus, they can set up a trip with a target number of passengers completely risk-free. The trips is published online, tickets are sold directly through digital channels. Once the passenger goal is reached, the trip is confirmed and appears as a prepaid booking for the coach operator. So each customer essentially becomes a distributor of your service as a coach operator and helping to reach the passenger goal. So once the goal is met, every ticket sold beyond the goal generates super profit for the coach operator. So for the first time in 100 years, Sharebus offered the coach industry a truly new product.
That is your time up, I'm afraid, there. Who would like to ask something about this particular product?
It's great to see an extroverted system rather than an introverted system. My curiosity would be if a client was running a scheduled trip and the successful numbers wasn't successful and the trip couldn't go, what communication goes back to the people who've booked the tickets?
Yeah, the system automatically sends feedback to the people who bought the ticket a couple of days before, saying unfortunately there was not enough demand for this trip, so you got your money back and you need to plan another way to travel.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. That's our crowdfunding coach trips. And now to our final finalist, which is Vev IQ by Vev. You can give him a round of applause, make him feel welcome. Okay, sir. Oh, you're doing it from there? Okay, and
Yes.
your time starts now.
Thank you. 8 gold medals. That is what the British Olympic cycling team delivered at the London Olympics. And the way they did this was by stacking up many small wins to deliver one giant victory. And that is the concept behind VevIQ. So VevIQ is a digital, smart charging and energy management platform. So what does that mean in reality? Well, all you need to do is plug your charger into your bus and the algorithm will do the work for you. For example, it will schedule all of your charging so you can have the peace of mind that your buses will be fully charged, ready for service the next morning. It can also save you thousands of pounds by charging your vehicle when the electricity prices are lower. And it can even generate you thousands of pounds for your bus depot because it can take depot from other operators who wish to use your charging infrastructure. And those are just a few of the small wins that VevIQ can deliver. If I had more than 90 seconds, I would love to tell you more. But in summary, if you're looking to stack up many small wins to deliver the giant gold medal goal of efficient and reliable electric bus operations, then VevIQ is the platform for you. Thank you.
Okay, well done. In fact, you managed that in 1 minute, 12 seconds.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Thanks.
I'm sure our judges will have a question for you. Yep, Keith.
I've spoken to a couple of people at the show who seem on the surface to offer something similar.
Okay.
So what sets Vev apart from the rest of the field?
Sure. So there's a couple of things that I touch on there. So one is a lot of the people you're talking to maybe have a white label platform, so they're paying someone else and they're putting their logo on it. That's not the case with Vev. We've got our own dev team. It's our own platform. The platform's actually older than the business. It's been running for around 7 years. We have the entire dev team developing it for us, partly in France, partly in the UK. We've already been on thousands of chargers. We have contracts with major bus operators like Stagecoach, which we announced this week. So we're already up and running and demonstrating what we can do. And equally, because we own the platform, we can build custom integrations for all of our customers. So for example, for Stagecoach, we're integrating all their vehicle telematics. We can integrate with the building, solar panels, battery. It's a full stack energy management and smart charging platform, which is probably why it's a little different to some of the others.
Okay, thanks very much, Vev. Good luck. That's the final finalist.
Thank you very much.
Hello, welcome again to the Masterclass Theatre, where it says here the excitement is mounting. Well, of course it is, as we discover who's won what in our Innovation Challenge for 2024. The way this will work is that after I've done a brief introduction, we'll be getting the head judge, Keith McNally, to come up here. He will announce who's won bronze, silver, gold, the Operator's Award and the Judge's Choice. When your name is called, if your name is called or your organisation's name is called, please come up to the centre of the stage to receive your certificate and have your photograph taken and then exit stage centre. That's all clear, isn't it? Simples. Excellent, 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 excellent. So, I'm going to make my way over here. So these are three of our intrepid judges. The standard, Chloe, was quite amazing, wasn't it?
It was really, really amazing, and we are still all talking, but it was a little bit challenging because the standard was so high. It was really great to be involved.
And so, Phil, you are still talking. Were there any last-minute real sort of nail-biting decisions where you were like the hung jury trying to decide?
Well, it's always interesting deciding who the winner is. You know, the standard of the entries was so high. They were so different. For me, key facts are the benefits it's going to bring to the end users. But it's always interesting between the judges chewing the fat like a jury. So, you know, very congratulations to all the entries, but someone has to win it.
And Tom, what was going through your mind as you judged each entry? What was your overriding criterion you're looking for?
I think that's tough because I think each of us probably has something that's slightly different that we were focusing on because we've all got slightly different backgrounds, which probably is quite helpful. But I think most of it was actually how much of an ultimate impact is it going to have on the end user and their ultimate experience and whether or not. But of course, key was, is it genuinely innovative? And I think that was, and we didn't all agree. But as you say, we are still just about talking.
Okay, we won't make you wait any longer. We'll ask our head judge, Keith McNally, to come up. He will go through who has won what. Please make him feel welcome.
Right, good afternoon, everyone. The moment everybody's been waiting for. So we had the 6 finalists, and the judges concluded that whilst the standard was really high and it was really difficult to judge amongst them, we decided on 3 bronze finalists. So I'm going to call those up one by one. The first of those is Ultratech with their resale service. So congratulations. The second bronze award winner is Ferdia with Sharebus.
Let me touch back down. Slap her on the bum until it comes back round. Half the drums like, oi, what's this all about? With the other half jiving. I love that sound. Yeah, I love that sound. Yeah, I love that sound. So flick your back butts out once on a mad one. Like, yeah, your mama can hump.
And the third bronze award winner is VEV IQ.
Going from the alley, Cali to the valley, Rock to the Bowery, flying out to Maui, up and down the highway, Monday to Friday, Saturday to Sunday, every day Friday. Fly from a city to a town and I'm gone. Always on the road 'cause my record's full blown. Living out my bag, but I'm never missing home. Papa was a rocker and I'm like a Rolling Stone. Got another call. Yo, it's time for this.
Right, so there were 2 finalists that were just that level above those bronze winners, and the first of those, the thing that we really liked about them was the what we would call reverse innovation. So that is Shuttle ID with Brickets.
Child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by.
And it's going to give away the gold as well, but the second silver award winner, and the reason for this one is the difference they've made to the passenger environment and the inclusiveness of the product, and that's Altro Transfloor.
And it goes like this. Tell me about the tongue and I'll know you. Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves like Jagger. I've got the moves.
So there's only one left, but the thing that really struck us about this one and made it really stand out was the huge benefit that we see to the operator community and ultimately to passengers as well. So congratulations to Intangles for their... Right, and there is also an Operator Choice Award, and that's the finalist that got the most votes from operators. And congratulations to Brickets for that one.